What's happening, everybody? I am the Bald Kid Nostalgic, and this is SlickBlast RapCast. And a wonderful Monday. We're here to chop it up with a legend. He's definitely an artist that we grew up before our eyes in the '90s. For everybody that grew up in that era, I know for sure I was one of those people. If you're familiar with the Source magazine, this guy needs no introduction as far as the Source magazine goes. He's a talented individual, and he was a part of the Last Word, and we're gonna be having him on soon. Sandra, thank you for asking. I appreciate it. She's stable, but no procedure today, unfortunately, because she's on the add-on list. But so we're gonna have to figure out a schedule. She's gonna set up an appointment to actually be set to have a surgery. So as long as yeah, thank you for asking. I appreciate that. All right. So without further ado, here we go. Andre Leroy Davis. All right. Peace. How are you, my brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, my brother, man. Good to meet you, man. And thank you for being on. I appreciate it.
Definitely, especially with all the stuff going on in your world. Prayers up. Hope everything is good and will be good.
That means a lot, my brother. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Indeed.
That's a beautiful thing. Well, first and foremost, welcome to Slick Blast Rapcast. It's important for me because I always say God brings people together in some sort of way, right?
I agree.
Whether there's a timeline, rewind to the 90s. I'm trying to get every Source magazine at the 7-Eleven, the local 7-Eleven. I'm a high school kid. I'm making five something an hour, working at Kmart down the street. I'm a high school kid. So, of course, walking home, going to the local 7-Eleven, I got to buy that Source magazine because that's
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
at. And who do I see?
What was the price of it then?
Oh my God. It was under $5. It was under five. Yeah.
It was thin, and then it started getting telephone bookish, and it started getting thicker, and later on.
That's right. That's right. So it was close to what? I'm looking at it right now. 295 US.
Okay. Okay.
So it's crazy. So 30 years in the making, here I am talking to the legend that is Andre Leroy Davis.
That is me. Indeed, indeed. Some people know me as A.L. Dre. That was the name that I wrote under. So I tried to keep the artist and the writer separate. So all the art was Andre Leroy Davis, full government. And when I wrote reviews and mic checks and all that other kind of stuff for the Source and whatever, I wrote under A.L. Dre.
I love it. I love it, man. And once again, I want to thank you for being on. This is special for me because growing up in this beautiful hip hop culture that we love dearly, you were a part of that essence and still are physically to this day. So,
Definitely.
yeah. So what I always do is I give everybody their flowers. So here I want to give you your flowers and give them to you while we're speaking right now. It's important. So,
Cool, cool. Appreciate it. Indeed.
of course, my brother. Absolutely. So, man, I'm very hyped to chop it up with you and pick your brain a little bit. So I want to show you something real quick before we start off our convo.
Okay.
I know this is going to bring you memories. You probably have like five of these because you were a part of this whole thing.
Now, I used to have every issue in triplet, and then I moved 5 years ago, and I don't have every issue in triplet anymore. But yeah,
Oh,
that was a great cover, meaning every issue from when I started. So I had a pretty good setup. That's the Woo World.
yes.
Normally, the good thing is normally I had a good amount of time to do each piece, but when they told me the Woo was on the cover, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to draw all the members. I think the only one left out is Master Killer.
Interesting. You know what? Hold on. Now that you're saying that, that's funny. You said you left out Master Killer.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's I think there's 9 there, right?
Yes, there is.
All right. So yeah, Master Killer definitely let off. It was not intentional. It was like I don't think he had really come out with his, his solo or
Right.
deep. He was always mentioned, but I don't know if he was always on a lot of their records at that point. So he
Yeah.
was left out, and I had to draw 9 people when I normally was used to drawing 1, the main person, or this and that. So I had a little extra time to get that piece done because the idea was just too solid that I didn't want to take a step back and do anything lesser.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
The
it's
thing is, when people show me those pieces, I transform into like a Rain Man. I can he can count every friggin' toothpick inside of a box. I remember all of the story and the ideas behind every drawing.
that's super dope, man. It's again, man, you just brought back so many good memories, and just it's great, man. It's great to have you on once again because
Yes.
here's the thing that I try to remind people. Music is timeless and art is timeless.
Oh yeah.
And they both coincide together, right?
Yeah.
It's important to pay homage to the people that are physically still here, and that's important to me, and I want to stress that to people because I just feel like whether it's a song or a work of art like yours, you look at it and then you close it and it's an afterthought. No, you have to soak it in. And if you're a true fan of it, it's like, okay, wow, I can keep that in my memory for the whole week and enjoy it for what it was. And probably one of your art pieces would have inspired me to play Daz Effects or Tribe Called Quest for that matter. So
See, I look at it this way, kind of like what you did. Everything that means something to you in the moment can inspire a memory that's long lasting. Like if you hear a song that means something to you, I mean, you hear music all the time. So when a song really means something to you, not only when the beat drops, does it bring a certain feel to it, it can bring a point in time where you were with somebody, where
yes.
something happened, ex-girlfriend, mother,
Yeah.
a beef, a friendship, and then it goes even another layer where not only did the song mean something to you that brought a feeling, now you'll know every freaking lyric to the song. So that means you took time and investment to know the lyric. So when it comes to art, when people tell me that one of the last words meant something to them so much that they had it on their wall, so that means you woke up in the morning, turned your light on, saw my artwork on the wall, and it meant something to you.
Yeah.
That's not my plan when I sit down to create, but knowing that that is a feel that people had through the years lets me know what I was doing was on point.
Absolutely on point like a big pen, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, man, and even the big pun, I posted that one. Well, he's in my top 5 all time of MCs for me personally, and that big pun was just him. It was just him. It was like,
Well, I got a story for that one.
I love it. Bring it.
I was at Loud Records because I knew a couple of people there who worked at the Source originally and then went off to start Loud.
Okay.
So it was really before his album came out. And I go there, they introduce me, Big Pun sitting down chilling. And he's like, yo, when you draw me in the last word, you gotta make sure it's fly and this and that, right? And I'm like thinking to myself, all right, should you be that special? I definitely will rock you because I hadn't heard anything from him.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of that happened where I would meet artists before they even were signed, before they blew up. But the fact that he was that loud means stuff was happening.
Right.
So
Oh, yeah.
I met him in passing. Then he was on the cover as like, I forgot what the Source used to call it, when they would have like new MCs. It was like Silk the Shocker, Big Pun, DMX, all of them like on the covers, like a freshman thing, which
freshman class.
XXL went to do their own version of it. So,
Unsigned Hype? Is it Unsigned Hype, right? Unsigned Hype?
No, that was the column they had, but they would have certain covers where new MCs would be on the cover, and who knew if they were going to blow up or not.
Right.
Like I said, XXL made it later on, did the freshman, but the Source did it originally first.
Absolutely.
So I here he's gone. They want me to draw him the last word. He was getting big, but the record company Loud had absolutely no photo reference of him. So I had terrible photo reference, which I hated. So the very first big pun that I drew was terrible. It didn't meet my standards. I hated it. It's one of my least favorite drawings of all time.
Wow.
So finding out that he did indeed deserve to be drawn there, but then of course me not having the reference, it
Yeah.
sucked. So then when he
Right.
passed, I was like, shit, ain't no way I am not going to honor him and with that whack shit that I did the last time. That's not gonna be the one people remember. Most people don't even remember that one because
Right.
I rocked this last one so hard. Normally I do caricatures and all of this, but with him passing so unexpectedly, I was like, yo, I'm going full illustrative. I'm put the New York City map for the Bronx. I'm going to put the flag of Puerto Rico. I am going to make this what he said he wanted when I first met him.
Woo!
And not being
Boricua.
cocky, but having confidence in himself to say, when you draw me, and I wanted to make sure that when the fact that he left the world, I wanted to make sure that shit was proper. So that is
Yeah.
definitely one of my favorite ones because of that full story.
Wow. And that's such a great story. I mean, it's a classic story. That's like almost like an epic tale of a local legend, like urban legend kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that one time, and that's the thing. Like you said, it was whack. But for me, it's like anything you do, obviously, you don't think of the word whack and you together. So for an artist to say that about themselves, obviously, you're putting pressure on yourself to say, "Damn, I got to step it up because it's him."
I looked at any last word I did as I put it, as a writer, as an artist, as an MC. When I would
Yeah.
sit down to draw, it was me creating my album, me creating my single. It had to be on point. That means 12
Yep.
months, 12 months of the year, 12 last words, that was my 12 cut album. So I could look back and like an album, you got like 10 joints that nobody wants to skip, and you got those two whack ones. So I would allow I always was striving to have perfect shit, but
Right.
I was and am my worst critic. So for me, the joke, what I'm trying to say, has to
Yeah.
be on point. The
Of course.
illustration, the likeness has to be on point. When those two are on point, like that pun, classic. When
Yes.
when the drawing is on point and maybe the joke isn't as tight, we still rocking. But when the joke is on point and the likeness isn't there, anytime somebody has to look at one of my pieces and be like, yo, this kind of looks like, or that kind of looks like, I missed the mark. You know
Right.
what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely. And beautiful story, man. Rest in peace to the great big pun.
Yes.
Just a super lyrical individual, charismatic,
Yes.
witty.
Yeah.
He was the total. He was like Lex Luger, the hip hop's Lex Luger. He was the total package. So, so we have a gentleman saying, looking up this story now, the
I
drawing
gotta
looks
plug that.
fantastic. Yeah.
Let me
Um.
plug my phone in so I'm charging it properly.
Oh, definitely, man. Do your thing. Do your thing. No rush.
Okay.
Once again, this is the ball kid nostalgic kicking it with the legendary, the man of the plan. And I'm glad that once again, thank you for being on and adapting to the situation. Life happens, and I do appreciate it, man. Thank you once
Yeah.
again for that. So, all
You
right,
do.
man. So, what I want to do, I like to get everybody in the DeLorean, and let's go back in time if we can. I want to know what was the first thing that you drew, whether it was a kid, a teenager, because obviously there was a time frame where you started doing this
Yeah.
and taking it seriously, and making it become a consistent thing where it was the foundation of what was to come, where the Source magazine is what it was, and that legacy will forever be there. So for you, okay, so the Ring of Death. Okay, there's a circle down there, so it's a little okay. we'll wait for a little bit because sometimes the Wi-Fi gets a little crazy. So I'm gonna keep him on because on the bottom it's not. He's paused right now. So I was gonna ask him a question, basically. Okay. So what we'll do is, okay, he's back on. The police cops of IG are coming in early, so we're not gonna allow that to happen. All right, so we're back on. Let me send him an invite. Boom. All right. All right. There he is. Good as new. All right.
I got it plugged in, so hopefully we good now.
All right. The flex capacitor is working. We're good.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you was basically, what was the first thing that you ever drew in your life that you remember? Do you remember vividly? What was the first thing that intrigued you to draw something and say, okay, I'm going to mimic this piece of art visually and put it on a piece of paper? What was the first thing?
I had an older brother who was 8 years older than me who always drew. He was an artist.
Gotcha.
So there's not a time I don't remember drawing because I was trying to be like my older brother. And he used to draw pictures, make me cry, draw me, make fun of me. And I was trying to draw him to get back, and then I realized I actually could draw.
Wow.
So I would say earliest drawings would be trying to draw my brother, definitely drawing Spider-Man, definitely drawing Godzilla. Those were like the norms, the normal flow, repetitiveness, to the point where I got good at it. And when I would go to school, I would instruct and show other friends on how to draw Godzilla and Spider-Man.
Wow.
So friends that I have from back then will tell you stories of me teaching them how to draw Spider-Man and Godzilla. So that's when the cocky part of me, every now and then I slip into Kanye when people say, "Yo, you just been teaching recently?" It's like, "Nah, I've been teaching since I was 5."
I love it. You were teaching the kids when you were a kid, passing out cookies, man.
Kids when I was kids. Yep.
Yeah, I love that. You were advanced.
I was one of them kids in junior high school who knew I could draw better than my teacher. So
wow. And it shows, obviously. It shows, man. So that's super.
It was. I mean, I didn't know at the time because I just loved to do it. But I was putting in hard work and getting better all the time. You know.
That's super dope. And okay, so now I want to get into one of the most important questions for me, because obviously I started peeping the source out because of MTV Raps, Rap City BT. That influenced me to start getting the source.
Yeah.
How did that come to fruition? You and the source connecting and making that a reality. How did that become a real thing? And if you could take us back to that.
I graduated from college in '87, so I had already started the life as pursuing being a freelance artist. So I was already doing work for magazines, newspapers. Old heads remember the magazine called Players, which featured Black women. My first paying job was doing illustrations for Players magazine back in like 1988.
Wow.
First thing I drew was like Spike Lee. I drew Leon Isaac Kennedy. I drew Vanity. So those were my first color pieces ever, and that was
wow.
So from 87 to 90, I was putting in the work. My freelance career was building slowly. I was doing stuff for like Emerge magazine, Playgirl, doing monthly drawings for them. And the way you did things was you just walked around with your art portfolio. You went to magazine stands, looked at the front part to find out where the editorial staff was, where the magazine was located, who was the art director, and you reached out and you said, "Can you look at my portfolio?" If they were interested in looking at your work, then you got a job. So I was coming home one day. I made one more stop at a newsstand. I saw a magazine that was The Source. I tell people this was before The Source was The Source. They had just come to New York. I called. I asked them if they had a portfolio policy. They had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, it's just me showing you my artwork. Went there. They were in one room on Broadway. I was like a block away. They had just moved to New York, I think, from Boston. The editor-in-chief, John Schechter, told me he always had in mind adding a illustrative element to the magazine. He asked me if I could come up with an idea to convey what was going on between Easy and the FBI. I came up with a little sketch on the spot, told him this is what I wanted to do, asked me if I could have it in 2 days. Bought it in 2 days. Back then, Source, of course, had no real budget. So I did it in black and white and grays because they didn't start color yet.
Right.
Bought it in. This is like August of 1990. Issue came out in September 1990 with KRS on the cover.
Ooh.
And figured that was it. But they called me back the next month, asked me if I could do another drawing. We kept repeating this month after month. And next thing you know, 16 years went by.
Wow. And 16 years later, you became a household name, obviously. You were, like I said, you were a very important staple of the Source. And
I always tell people that I wasn't famous, my artwork was, because nobody knew who the hell I was, because I kept away from parties. I kept away from getting friendly with MCs. That wasn't
really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
My whole thing was, if I was going to be authentic, yes, I was a lover of hip-hop. Yes, no one had to explain anything to me. I knew what was going on. It was the world that I lived in.
Yep.
So my whole thing was, if I was going to have to draw you, clown you, say anything about you, I didn't want any friendships to have to hold back. So I purposely kept away and just stayed creative.
Wow. I respect that. That's very, it's refreshing, and it's a different approach, you saying that as an artist, because you know how it is nowadays, I feel like, or even not even nowadays, but a lot of artists are connected to these MCs, producers, and a lot of times it's a biased thing where it's like, so-and-so didn't invite me to the picnic and we're boys, what's up with that? And he's like, because he was featured on my album. That's why he got invited first. And it's like, no.
I mean, nowadays it is the way you have to do in order to gain certain kind of success to get, you got to be down. You got to be cool with people.
Yeah.
Back then, I chose to just let my art speak for itself.
Wow. That round of applause for that, because authenticity is a beautiful thing, and it's a rare commodity nowadays, because as you can see, in this day and age in hip hop, I've had this discussion many times with friends and even, MCs and stuff like that, DJs. Being authentic in today's world of hip hop is a tough thing. Well, not for that individual, but as far as identifying. In the 90s, you knew who Phife was. You knew who Big Pun was. You knew who MF Doom was. You knew who MC Search was. Everybody had their pocket and flavor and individuality. Versus today, it's like there's 7 guys that sound the same. I ain't checking for them because they sound the same. So it's like, I can't do that. So again,
it was just, to me, it was just the overall positivity, the overall strength, the overall godliness and manliness. And by manliness, I don't mean anything derogatory towards femininity or anything. I just mean we went from being grandmasters to being little babies.
You said it. I was holding back. You're thinking it. I was saying it, man. Great minds think alike. There you go. It's out. Cat's in the bag. Cat out of the bag. And that's why I stay in my lane in terms of what I grew up with and what I listen to now, because there's a lot of MCs out that are keeping it, preserving the night. You know, there's still a lot of MCs now that are influenced by that golden era and keeping it relevant and modern, which I love. That it's great. There's a lot of talent out there, but like you said, all the littles and all the cousins, and I'm like, nah, I can't do that. Like, that's just not me. So
there are MCs out there that you got to kind of like search for.
Yes.
You know, like I appreciate, like Big Daddy Kane gave him a shout earlier, like last week. I really like J. Cole.
Yes.
I like Kendrick.
Yes.
I like some of Pop Smoke stuff. I like Rhapsody. You know,
Yeah.
so those are a lot of those you got to search for them because they don't necessarily have the Hot 97 singles playing on the regular, even though I don't listen to Hot 97.
Right.
But you know, you're not gonna really hear them on the radio, so they're not gonna get that push. So it's like when people say my age tell me I don't love hip hop anymore. My mind is like this: you either full of shit or you don't really know how to expand your flavor. I can never say I don't love hip hop anymore because I can easily throw on some old Public Enemy. I could throw on some
Woo.
KRS. I could throw on some
Yes.
Chuck Rock, you know, and give me that feel back. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm never gonna lose that.
And I agree with you on that, brother. Definitely. Yeah, because when you mentioned that, they said that like, oh, I'm not. There's people that I know that have said that too in my life. That and respectfully, I won't say the names because I respect
Yeah,
them. But oh yeah, bro, yeah, I kind of took a hiatus from hip hop for 2 years. I'm like, dude, I never left. I've been there from the beginning as far as I knew it as a
yeah,
kid,
yeah,
and I'm still here. I'm still
yeah,
listening to it because
yeah,
being an MC myself, it's important to just preserve the culture, and then obviously doing this, that's how much I love it because
yeah,
it's just a revolving door that keeps on giving. And
yeah.
if you get back to the energy of hip hop, it'll come back to you somehow, some way.
I believe that too.
Yeah. So Rubik's One, the gentleman says, hip hop ain't never been dead. Amen, brother. Us two are with you. We're
It's
with
it's,
you.
it's 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 been on life support here and there, but it ain't never been there. Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
yeah,
So one of my friends, you have a man. I gotta say, because there's a lot of them that I love. As far as your sketches in the end of the source pages, the last page, the last
yeah.
word. Two of them that stand out for me that I really love. Actually, three. The De La Soul one.
Which
Um,
one? Which one is that? Because I've drawn them a couple times.
I know. Oh my God, it's the one. It's like a flower. It's like I can't. The
There's,
stakes is high one. The stakes is high
there's a,
one.
there's okay. There's a gray one from the early times when they had a cemetery, and then
Yes.
there's one where I combined like their three albums. I think it was like the stakes is high. One was somebody was on a ladder. The other one was like
Yes.
a balloon mind state.
Yes.
So okay, so
That's my.
cool.
Oh my God. Because De La is near dear to my heart. They're in my top five of all time.
Okay,
Aside from Tribe as well.
yeah.
Um, I love that Tribe one because I'm a big NBA fan as well in the '90s. Growing up as a
That
teen,
was
that was
Fife's favorite. That was Fife's favorite.
yeah, that was dope, man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Fife. By the way,
Rest in peace, Fife. Yeah.
big sports fanatic. I was blessed. I was blessed to have conversations with him on IG, and we would debate about our sports teams, and we would go back and forth, and it was fun. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it
Cool.
was
Cool.
cool. It was cool. So rest in peace to that gentleman. He's obviously special in our hearts to this day.
Definitely. Definitely.
Um, and he just his estate, his family just released a song with Redman. Actually, it's a special one.
Was
Uh,
that the nut? Was that Nutshell or that's another one?
Another one, yeah, it's called French Kiss Dual Fresh. Okay, Deux French Kiss Dual. I can't even pronounce it. It's French or
Okay.
something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, produced by the Potato Head people. They're from the UK. A lot of Dilla influenced, of course. And then Redman is rocking on that remix version. So it's nice. You'll definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll research on that one.
Yeah. So I have to ask you this as well. I'm a huge MF Doom fan. Of course, Zev Love X of KMD. That's where the foundation started before the mask and before people started catching on to him later in life, as far
Yeah.
as the newer generation.
Yeah.
Have you ever had an encounter with MF Doom or Zev Love X as Zev Love, being in that world, like you said? I know you didn't mingle with a lot of the MCs, but have you ever seen MCs like passing you by or
Oh, well,
just
I mean, the thing is this: I didn't make it a point to go to any of the parties, but I would be at the Source Awards and
wow?
stuff like that. I would be incognito because nobody, those who knew me knew who I was, and those who didn't need to know. So I was around certain people.
Okay.
I definitely seen a lot of shit, bad and good.
Any
Uh,
stories? Any cool stories that you could kind of,
well, it depends. I mean, I've been at the end of people's anger feelings towards stuff that I drew.
Oh,
I've been where people are celebrated. I've been like I say, if I was to draw some of these younger heads, I know in this Me Too era and everything else
um,
that I would definitely catch a flack because feelings are a lot more sensitive. Everybody needs more hugs
oh goodness, you're right.
and my thing was I never set out to disrespect anybody,
Right.
but the thing was I found a way that if you did some dumb shit, I would just take your own words and turn it into a visual. And if you
Ooh.
got mad at your own words or your own actions, then that was just the case. I've had Eminem mad at me. I've had DJ Quick mad at me. So those were like definitely like DJ Quick and X Clan. Those are like the early years of the Source when they were mad at me.
Wow.
With the Eminem stuff, that was when Benzino went at him with a personal beef.
I remember that.
And my thing was anything that I drew, I stood behind.
I
I
love it.
created it because I believed it. I didn't do anything because Benzino requested it.
Right.
People ask me how I stayed at the Source that long with all the shit that went on because I wasn't in the office every day.
Ah,
I was freelance. I'd pop in, do what I needed to do, and I was out.
that's dope.
So I knew what was going on, but I didn't live and breathe what was going on. So, quick one would be, I tell this one all the time usually.
Go for it.
DJ Quick, of course, when he came out, he had the perm and everything like that.
That's right. That's right.
So I drew him in a barbershop, and he's sitting next to James Brown, who has a perm. And James Brown is waiting to get his hair dried.
Wait. The James Brown.
Yes. I drew him with D. James Brown. They both had the perms.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
when I drew that, I came in and I heard that Quick was not happy and more or less told me never to come to California. And then he went on Yo MTV Raps with Dr. Dre and T Money. Ed Lover wasn't there for that episode. And Dr. Dre pulls out the magazine, turns to the back page, starts waving the illustration with him in the beauty salon with the perm or whatever.
Right.
And just starts messing with him with it. And he's there with his boys, and you can see him snarling a little bit. But then his boys is like, "Yo, that just means you large." So it started.
Yeah.
It just started then to become a badge of honor if you were drawn in the back page of the Source.
Wow.
There definitely was a lot of sensitive people. I remember the old days of AOL when I had done a drawing of Eminem and I would sign on and I would immediately be attacked with instant messages from like I'm not even playing. There'd be like 300, 500 of them coming. Fuck you! You dissed Eminem. So
Oh my goodness. Oh,
it was
come.
sometimes pure madness.
That's hilarious, man. And you're right, man. People just, obviously everybody's different, right? Everybody functions and reacts differently. For me, if I was DJ Quick and I saw that, I would have been like, I would have hugged you and been like, yo, let's go get a sandwich. Thank you for putting me.
The thing is now, as me now going out and people know the face because I've done, with other parts of the art that I've done from doing stuff for Marvel and other things. I've been on panels, so people know the face now. I do interviews. I got no problem meeting old heads now, so I know a lot of these MCs now. When they see me, I see them. So it's different. It's now the years have passed. It's looked at it differently. I'm putting a book together of all the stuff. So part of the book is presenting the sketches, presenting the finished pieces, and then getting comments from the artists who were depicted on what they thought when they first saw it. So seeing those and hearing those stories and putting them together in the book, you get a whole different feel. And then I did some hip hop NFTs. So the associations and connections with people have changed through the years.
That's really dope. And I see that you have, the thing is, I do my research. Obviously, I do my research for people that I'm fans of. And I saw your work on you have an Etsy shop where you have your merch, your T-shirts. I
Yeah.
definitely want to I definitely want to support and get one of your shirts. And then the mask was really dope too. I like that too, man.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So for for everybody that doesn't know, he has his page and it's Etsy, correct? Etsy page.
Yeah, it's my Etsy shop. It's for hip hop heads. That's my my store.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody that's on with us on SlickBlast RapCast, he has a plethora of dopeness, whether it's a mask, T-shirts, and all other goodies. So definitely support this man. He's done a lot for the culture, so we definitely have to support him. Yeah, definitely. Rubik's One, the gentleman says, I need to check that out. And by the way, if anybody has questions for Andre Leroy Davis, feel free to ask us, and I'll honor some of the questions. Another thing I wanted to ask you, because every guest that's on, I have to do it. It's an automatic.
Yeah.
And you can take your time with it, because I do it on the fly. Okay. All right. Dead or alive. Okay. Dead or alive.
Uh-huh.
Who are you working with this weekend, dead or alive, if they called you and said, look, this is what we're going to do. Whether it's a song, whether it's artwork, whether it's something that somebody you've always wanted to work with that you haven't had a chance to, three people that come to mind that stand out in your brain.
Well, I always say, because a lot of the drawings I did for the source were that time period were always MCs who were hot, who were big, blowing up, whatever. During that time period, I never got to draw Big Daddy Kane. Because believe it or not, from 90 to that point, he was never on the cover.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, because his time was more his real extreme hot time was like 87 to like early 90.
Right. Yep.
So that Kane I never got to draw. So never got to draw Kane. So we'd definitely draw Kane.
Woo.
Childhood favorite would be Curtis Blow.
Never
Curtis Blow. And have this discussion all the time with Kango from UTFO. Have never drawn UTFO. So
wow.
those would be the three where I would stop what I'm doing if I had the time, photo reference, and knock them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a triple threat right there that you just mentioned. All Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
big
classics.
Yes, classics. And a lot of people have been asking lately, speaking of BDK, Big Daddy Kane. It was his birthday recently, so happy birthday to one of the Juice Crew legends. Yeah. I was fortunate enough and blessed to have Master Ace on, so okay. He just that whole crew, man, just authentic MCs all around and legends. Yes, So another thing that I've always been curious about, in the sense where I know you've had some guru ones. I know that, but I'm trying.
Never.
That's what I'm trying to remember.
All right, so they were on the cover of the source, right? But during that time period, there was kind of movement with the editor-in-chief and the incoming editor-in-chief and outgoing editor-in-chief. So normally they reached out to me a good week and a half, 2 weeks before deadline. Let me know what was going on. I did the drawing, got it in, never missed the deadline all those years. But with the confusion, no one reached out to me. They forgot to reach out to me. I called up saying, yo, what's up? It's like, oh, we're going to print tomorrow. So the one time where I did not bring in any piece was the Guru and Premiere cover where they were like on a train. So never got to draw them.
Wow, and it's crazy. It's almost like you knew that I was going to ask you that, because again, I was trying to remember in the 90s when I used to constantly buy the Source magazines every damn month. I was always trying to remember. I would always see Guru and Primo in promo like pages, right, of their albums. But I was like, it was always a question mark in my head, because I usually remember things that happened 20 years ago and forget what I did yesterday. I tell you with that, I'm like Rain Man. I remember
each and everything. Now I would bump into Guru probably like 89, 90 before they fully blew up. He would always be riding the same train that I took.
Really?
From like Grand Central and
Oh,
Times Square.
oh
So,
wow.
yeah. I mean, during that time period, I remember seeing Tekken Steel before, before they blew up with whatever. So it was and first of all, it's New York.
Yes.
You're gonna see cats. I remember being in college and seeing a skinny LL Cool J just walking by the Empire State Building. No one really knew or cared who he was, but because I knew hip hop, I knew who he was.
Wow.
So you would just see folks on the regular. It's like just the way it was.
Damn, that's so cool, man. To me, that's so super cool. And I'm a Chicago kid, born and raised. I'm from the Midwest, but I was always intrigued by East Coast hip hop in the '90s from New York, the golden era, and then of course West Coast as well. I was just always enamored by that. So for you to say these dope stories, you're just bringing us back to that time and that essence, just the train and all that stuff. So I love it. Shout out to Onslaught 456, Triborough. Shout out to you brothers, also New York guys. It's funny that you mentioned Tekken Steel because my brother Triborough, he's from Brooklyn actually.
Okay.
Good brother. We had on a mix and match series. It's called Mix and Match. It's called your dream collabs of who you want. It's basically, for example, Redman and Fife produced by the Bomb Squad. You choose who you want and you choose the producer. It's no right or wrong.
I have no producer, but I always wanted to hear a track with Smooth B and Snoop.
Whoo! I'm gonna have you on Mix and Match. We're gonna arrange that. We'll definitely you gotta be on with us on Mix and Match, man. It's fun. Okay. You could take it to the limits. You can go outside the box and go weird, or you can play it safe. It's fun. So you'll definitely be on with us. I'm gonna holler at you so we can do Mix and Match. Cool. Yeah, because the homie Try just said we were talking about Smith and Wesson on the show Saturday, and I mentioned that genuinely speaking, I do feel that they're in the top 10 all time of groups for me at least, because like the homie Try said, their chemistry, Smith and Wesson, you never hear of negativity, fights. Nope. Oh, he took my Domino's pizza. Now I'm not gonna talk to him for 10 years. No, like dude, no.
None of that petty shit.
Thank you. None of that pettiness. And with other groups, egos get in the way. Yep. They become divas. The other guy stays humble, and it's like, dude, what are we doing? We're beautiful together. So let's keep the Voltron thing going, the tag team thing, versus you fighting me and bickering.
And they just never mesh back again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's like even though Jam Master Jay isn't here, I would love to just have Run DMC just performing and do whatever. And for whatever reason, it just doesn't happen.
I know, man. I know. Yeah. It's crazy. DMC, I follow him. He's a big comic book head, and he has his own comic book line.
Yeah, that's a good brother. I've been on a couple of panels with him, and I have been fortunate enough, like I said, to establish some kind of connections. And he's been I've had him in my classroom with my kids.
Wow.
Just up there. Every now and then I try and do a little bit of something different than just me teaching. And I had the opportunity to kind of enlighten these kids on hip hop. I tried to do it grumpy old man style. I didn't come out and say, "You badass kids, get off my lawn."
Yo, I love it.
The people that you love suck. I chose not to go that way, but I chose to bring in people.
Yes.
Like DMC. I brought in Easy Mo B, and they just like had to hear and see, and then they're like, all right, the hip hop that I have is a little different than what you presented, and I kind of like what you presented, and that's without me doing any kind of talking down to what they have. But it was like some Jedi mind trick where it's like, yo, this is the good shit compared to what you got.
Whoo. I love it. And it's funny, man, like great minds think alike once again, because I was going to say get off my lawn vibe. You said I'm not going to go that route, grumpy old man status. I'm just going to show them and kind of school them, literally school them, because those are your students. So
those are the same kids from Brooklyn. You know, they didn't want to, you know, the Bronx sucks, this, that, because they from Brooklyn. They didn't know nothing else. So, but I made them get on the train. We took a train ride to the Bronx, hooked up with a brother from the Tats crew, so they got to see somebody live throw up a piece and all that. So I kind of tried to give them different elements of hip hop, stuff that they probably really ain't appreciate in the moment, because you know most of them ain't know who DMC was.
right.
Most didn't know who Easy Mo B was. We played, you know, what was funny was with DMC, he was there for like a good hour, 2 hours talking. And then he mentioned the Christmas song. And the kids was like, oh, they knew him.
Of course.
They didn't know anything else.
Of course, that was on Target ads, the commercials are for the holidays. So, you know, it was going to click in their brain. You know, it's like, oh, that's what mom. Oh, yeah, that's the Target ad. You know, yeah, for sure. That's dope, though. Whatever works, exactly. So we have a question from a gentleman. Thank you for the question. It's Oil House. Shout out to you, brother. All right, so Grandmaster.
That is a sister right there. I know that. Who that is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Much love. Grandmaster Kaz recently said that Run DMC followed Jam Master Jay's style and abandoned the other band member. Is that true? Or
yeah. I remember seeing. You see early pictures of Run and DMC. They got like patterned jackets, checkered board jackets, and Run's hair is out curly and fro like. So
really?
It was a whole different feel. But once they had Jam Master join, and I heard Russell saw how Jam Master Jay dressed, and he's like, all right, now y'all got to dress like him.
Right.
And then the rest is history. If you Google it, you will find some early Run DMC pictures, and you'll see their publicity photos, and you'll be like, it wouldn't have made the same impact.
It ain't happening, right? It ain't happening in that ballpark. Wow, that's a fun fact, actually, because again, 87 was when I really got into hip hop as a kid, when I was introduced to it. So I saw, like you said, I wouldn't know that Run DMC had polka dot Kwame outfits or or just oddball outfits that are just like, that we're not familiarized with until, like you said. So it's dope. Yeah, you're welcome. Definitely. Thanks for the confirmation. No, absolutely. You're welcome. That's what we're here for. Oh, that's great. So by the way, man, I wanted to ask you, because you said you do teach. What field of teaching, in terms of what category of teaching do you do to teach the youth?
I teach art. It's my 5th year teaching at a high school.
Wow.
I created the curriculum. I teach this year. I'm teaching 9th and 12th grade. I am in the middle of Brooklyn. I am in MOP territory, Brownsville.
Yeah.
Love it. My next step will be teaching at colleges and universities, but I like a challenge, and them asking me to create the curriculum. I knew I could bring something to the kids that they would enjoy and that would be unexpected. So that's what I'm doing. I mean, I've taught, like I said, professionally, probably since like 2006, 7. But the last 5 years I've been at one particular school.
Wow. Well, congratulations to you. And it's your dream, obviously, because art is who you are, and that's your language. So the congrats.
It's definitely passing on the love of what I do to hopefully 1 or 2 kids. If I get more than 1 or 2, it's always good. But otherwise, I'm in the building teaching them about life, consistency as a Black man, and hopefully giving them something positive to look up to and strive for. They really don't give a damn about what I did. They're more or less, what are you doing now for us?
Okay. Well, hopefully some of them get curious. Maybe see this show, an episode, and say, okay, let's go back in time and let's dig, because it's important.
I know, like, some of the kids who graduated now, they've reached out and connected with me on Facebook, and now some of them know deeper what the deal was.
I love it.
They always was like, Mr. Davis, how do you know DMC? How you bringing up obscure people? I was like, I just know them. I would never go deep into what was up.
There you go. There you go. That's great, man. It's historic and rich history. Um, wow, man. It's just all these great stories that you're breaking down. I've heard. I don't know if it's if the rumor is accurate because sometimes on the internet your phone it pops up and you start looking at all these news. I'm not a fan of the news per se. I stay away from that. If it's music related or movies or art stuff, I'm all in. I'm in like Flynn.
Yeah.
I read recently that speaking of your MTV Raps, obviously you had the legendary you had Dre, Ed Lover, and Fat Five Freddy, and so on and so forth. I've heard that they're resurrecting Yo MTV Raps, and I'm just like, I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know. It's funny that the smirk on your face says it all.
I haven't heard that one, but I believe it because nothing is original. Everybody brings back something that was. 9 out of 10, they picked the wrong person to host.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. I haven't heard that one, but I can believe that happened.
Yeah. So I was like, say it ain't so. I was like, look, it's like classic movies like The Goonies. I'm a big movie head, so classic movies like The Goonies or Scarface, they should not be remade. Damn it! Like, don't do that.
What's the one that was just box office a couple weeks ago?
Oh, Candyman.
Yeah, I mean they brought that back. I didn't see it, so I can't judge and say it was worse than whatever. But nothing original.
So I'll tell you about that, and it's funny that you say this. So real quick, Jordan Peele, he's known for his comedy skits, and he's a comedic genius with K. So Candyman, it's interesting. It's a remake / sequel to the original series.
Okay.
Yeah. So what he did was he tried to recreate Cabrini Green, the projects back in Chicago on the West Side, and he tried to recreate that environment for the new movie that came out. And he also, the little girl that was in the original Candyman movie, she's in the new one. So I think that was dope. Yeah, I think that was dope because typically when you remake a movie, like you said, the same feeling I would have had, like, I ain't checking for that crap. It's a remake.
So you liked it?
I haven't seen it, but as far as what I've read and knowing that somebody original from the original movie's in it and it connects, I like that. So
I can get that.
Right? Because there's a connection to that old school flavor and just the storyline within itself. So I'm hyped to see it because of that. And I know Jordan Peele. I consider Jordan Peele the modern day Stephen King, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll take that.
Right?
You get no argument from me.
I love it.
I can live and breathe with you saying that.
All right. I love it. Yeah, man. He's just so talented and he gets it. He's thorough and he takes his time, and that's what true artists do. They're thorough. They don't. You cannot rush perfection. So whether it takes 48 hours, whether it takes 60 days, it's going to get done. Yeah.
It's like I tell some people, which everybody doesn't understand, past relationships, that type of thing. When I want to be at my drawing table, when it's sunny, and I could be out doing stuff, sometimes, hell no. I'd rather be out having fun, doing shit that I haven't done, but if I have committed to a deadline or I'm working on something, I got to stay in and I've got to make sure it happens. So, yes, I love drawing. Do I love drawing 24/7? No. But once I say I got to do something, I got to meet my deadline.
Absolutely. I wanted to reach out to you, but I'll do it respectfully off the air. I just wanted to ask, I wanted to reach out to you for just some questions I had.
Okay.
I have a project coming up with he's a known MC, and he's been doing this thing since 2012 in terms of the underground hip hop movement. Are you familiar with A1 of A1 and Phonics? The name of that's the
A1 and Phonics. That doesn't ring a bell off the top.
Okay, so it's basically golden era hip hop. It's an influence of the golden era. He's pretty much, we're from the same. Him and I are the similar age, and early 40s. And he has a record label, his own record label, and he's been doing great things, man. Like he has a check it out on Netflix when you have the free time. It's called Underdogs. It's a
Okay.
doc. It's a documentary about a filmmaker that doesn't know anything about hip hop, but he wants to know who's doing their thing in the culture.
Okay.
That's actually a blueprint of the '90s and influence. So it's called Underdogs on Netflix. And
Okay.
so I'm making a track with this gentleman, A1. He's a good dude. He's from Brooklyn originally, and he's repping Virginia now. But he's a good
Okay.
brother. So definitely, I'll send you the link to his album, and
You
you'll
know,
appreciate it.
the name A1 starting to sound familiar, but all the other stuff you attached doesn't. But the name A1 sounds like somebody who's been around a minute.
He
If I actually
has,
think about it. Okay. All right.
yeah, AWON. He's bald
I'm
headed
gonna
like
go ahead.
he's bald headed like me. He has glasses. He's just a good dude, man. He's a good human being, and we connected through basically social media, and now we're friends now. So
My memory, which used to be like on point, I still am on point, but every now and then I got my old man moments and need shit to come back slowly and come back in. So that sounds familiar.
absolutely, no, absolutely, and I know you'll love it for sure. It's just
Okay.
dope jazzy hip hop, like a lot of influence from the '90s. So
Okay.
um,
Cool.
yeah, man. So once again, man, I know you got a class tomorrow, and I know you got to rest up, but man, I want to know if there's anybody that you want to shout out before we have 4 minutes left. But I want to know if there's anybody special in your life right now that you want to shout out, or it could be anybody for that matter that pops in your head that you would like to shout out.
I would just more or less pour out a little liquor and give love. Definitely have lost a lot of people
Oh
who
wow.
I appreciated, respected in the last year and change, from people that other folks know, from like a Biz Markie. We had a really cool relationship through the years.
Wow, with Biz Markie.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
That's another story in there. It's actually one of my posts when he passed. I posted in it about our strange connection through the years of not asking each other for shit, but always winding up giving each other stuff. So
wow.
those who more or less have seen him in performance the last couple of years as a DJ, if you saw his laptop, the Biz Markie head that I drew is on his laptop. Wherever he went, it was there because I sent it to him, let him use it, and he did stuff for me throughout the year. So definitely point out a little liquor for folks like him. Chimudu, who passed away earlier this year.
Rest in peace.
Source Head. For me, Chi was like Candyman. If all I had to do was think about him like 3 times and my phone would ring, he'd like call me just because I thought about it. It was that type of shit.
Okay. It's dope. I
So
love it.
yeah, so just giving shout outs and love to those who passed. A sister that I used to manage passed 2 weeks ago. So there's a lot of madness in between. And I always say, is it COVID related? Possibly. I say that because a lot of people stayed in their house, didn't follow up on doctors' visits like they used to, and
Yeah.
shit that maybe they would have taken care of crept up on them, and who knows what would have happened.
Yep.
Who would still be here, who wouldn't be here. So just sending out love to those who have gone that I knew, that didn't know, and that other people care about. Definitely.
Wow, and Biz Markie, that touched my heart when you mentioned his name, just his name, because obviously he was a teddy bear of hip hop. To me, he was just
Oh,
a
yeah.
very right. He was in that category of a teddy bear and a genuine human being, and everybody loved him.
Yeah, I definitely won't say that we were friends, because to me, friends is somebody all they shit, you combo. But he would just call me out of the blue sometimes, like on a Sunday, and just say, "What up?"
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it was that.
He was that kind of individual. He would
Yeah.
check on everybody, and that's beautiful. Wow, that's cool that you had a connection with him. That's special because again, rest in peace to the almighty Biz Markie. He's definitely missed. Shock G as well. Definitely Shock G, a special, talented individual. Not only did he MC as Humpty and himself, but production wise, he was a monster.
Yep.
He was very underrated.
My favorite Digital Underground song would be what is it? Kiss Me. I guess it was a Kiss song.
Kiss me while I kiss you back.
Yeah. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's a butter. That was a butter track for sure.
Yeah,
Butter track.
definitely.
My brother, we got 1 minute left. Again, I want to thank you for being on and again adjusting to the situation because life does happen. I appreciate your
Yeah,
prayers. This is a special moment having you on because I think it's important to pay homage to artists as yourself that constructed the foundation of the Source magazine. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let me show people again what this guy was capable of and what he did on a regular basis and a monthly basis. And
yes.
that's just beautiful. I mean, look at that.
I always tell people, like I said, started in '90, every issue, 16 straight years. You know, some people did things 1 or 2 years. I never skipped a beat. And when people say legend, I appreciate it, but everybody uses legend for every damn thing. So yeah,
No, yeah, yes, you are correct. Especially in today's generation, everything is GOAT this, GOAT that. Hey, that Kit Kat bar had a target. That's GOAT. That's the
oh
most.
yeah, somebody ate some beans and farted on beat consecutively 3 times. That's legendary.
That's
So
legendary.
you know what I'm saying?
You know what? But from a true head like myself, directly to you, you are a legend to me, and you are iconic. So
I appreciate that.
yeah, man, that's genuinely speaking from me. So that's how we do it, man. This is what we do. So my brother, I want rest up once again, so you could
Yes,
do your thing with your class tomorrow. School them
definitely.
indeed, and I will be reaching out to you.
Yeah, reach out so we can do them other things, but also talk about whatever else you want to talk about.
Absolutely. Hey, many blessings to you. God bless you, brother, and it was a pleasure having you on, man. Thank you again.
Definitely good to speak to you. I appreciate you back.
Sounds
And
good.
all the best to you and wifey and whatever's happening. All right.
Yes, thank you, my brother. I appreciate
All right.
that.
No
All
doubt.
right, man. Yes,
All right,
sir.
man.
All
All
right.
right. Peace.
Peace. All right. Here we go.